The old tales speak of a forgotten village tucked away in the heart of southern Oman, where the towering, jagged cliffs seem to swallow the sky. Here, nestled amidst the dramatic landscape, a horrifying legend has endured, whispered around flickering fires rather than told. For here they fear the sound of footsteps padding softly in the dead of night, the scraping of claws on stone, the muffled puff of air escaping smoke-tinged lips. For in this village lives Al-Ddd, the one who counts. A Djinn whose existence predates memory, whose age even the oldest and wisest cannot recall. His origin is lost to the mists of time, but his wrath is very real. What makes Al-Ddd truly terrifying is not the traditional trappings of a Jinni, not the menacing glint of claws, the flick of a tail, or the glow of eyes like hot embers. Instead, this ancient spirit brings his doom through the most unexpected tool: numbers. Unlike other Djinn who might brandish weapons or wield elemental powers, Al-Ddd counts. As he counts, his victims slowly succumb to his silent menace. Stories of Al-Ddd are not common knowledge. They're shared only in hushed tones beneath the cloak of darkness, for fear of attracting the attention of this very Djinn. Yet these tales serve as chilling reminders of the dangers lurking beyond the veil of our perception, ready to pounce on those who dare disturb the balance between the worlds. The silence of the night is often shattered by the soft patter of tiny feet, and some believe these sounds are the harbingers of death, but not death as we understand it. Oh no, the souls of his victims do not depart immediately. Instead, they are trapped, forever suspended in a state of limbo, unable to find peace. In the desolate expanse of the Rub al-Khali Desert, there have been sightings of ethereal figures wandering aimlessly, forever seeking rest, forever reaching out. A strange and terrible fate worse than death itself. These lost souls are forever bound to the physical world, eternally searching for solace, yet none can escape the clutches of the one who counts. You may wonder why Al-Ddd targets certain individuals while leaving others unharmed. The answer lies in the realm of human emotions. You see, Al-Ddd feeds not only on the life force of his victims, but also on their despair, their fear, their grief, and their pain. When a person is overwhelmed with such emotions, their essence weakens, making them vulnerable to the wiles of the Jinnah. In such moments of intense emotional turmoil, Al-Ddd strikes. This is the story of those who failed to heed the warnings of the ancients, who refused to listen to the tales of woe passed down through generations. These are tales of those who laughed in the face of danger, and those who, consumed by their own troubles, forgot the horrors that linger in the shadows. As the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the sky in hues of orange and purple, a chill wind swept through the village. The locals hurried indoors, pulling their doors shut against the coming darkness. For they knew that with the onset of twilight, the boundary between the worlds grew thin, and the one who counted prepared for his nightly hunt. The elders recounted how a young boy named Salim scoffed at the stories of the one who counts. He mocked the villagers for their superstitions and their fears. On the night of his 14th birthday, his parents decided to let him sleep in his new treehouse. Excited by the prospect of sleeping in his treehouse, Salim readily agreed. As the night deepened and the moon climbed higher in the sky, the wind outside grew colder. Inside the treehouse, Salim snuggled deeper into his blankets, attempting to ignore the eerie creaks of the structure. Suddenly he heard a soft clicking sound. At first he dismissed it as the wind, but as the sound continued, he realized it was not of this world. Fear gripped him as he heard the voice begin its haunting count. 1, it rasped. Panic surged through Salim. He wanted to call out, to seek comfort in his parents' voices, but his throat was hoarse. Unable to call for help, he huddled in the corner of the treehouse, his young heart pounding against his ribs. The voice continued its macabre account, each number echoing the finality of a death knell. Salima's struggles grew weaker as the numbers climbed. His parents, unaware of their son's plight, slept soundly in their beds. By the time the one who counts reached his final toll, Salima's body was cold, his eyes vacant and staring. And as the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, his empty bed lay in the treehouse, a silent testament to the tragedy that had unfolded in the night. The next morning, the villagers found Salim's body, and with it, the grim evidence of the one who counts work. On the wooden floor was a circle, perfectly etched with 10 deep gashes, a chilling reminder of the fatal count. Another tale speaks of Yusra, a young woman who, like Salim, scoffed at the legends of her village. She was known for her quick wit and even quicker tongue, often making light of the superstitions that permeated their daily lives. However, on the eve of her 25th birthday, she found herself the target of Al-Adad. That night, as she lay in her bed, she heard the familiar clicking, followed by the ominous voice. 1. Unlike Salim, Yusra was not paralyzed by fear, but instead filled with defiant anger. How dare a mere jinx invade her life? She grabbed a kitchen knife and stepped out of her house, determined to confront whatever dared to disturb her sleep. The night was as black as ink, the silence heavy and oppressive. As the voice continued its count, Yusra searched for the source, her knife held high. Reaching a clearing, she saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at her. With a scream, she lunged forward, but whatever she struck dissolved into dust at her touch. The counting abruptly stopped. Yusra stood there, knife dripping with what she swore was blood, but which turned to water when she wiped it on her dress. Confused and frightened, she ran home, locking herself in her room for the rest of the night. In the morning, she found a single black feather lying on her doorstep, and though she could not prove it, she felt the presence of Al-Ddd watching her, waiting for her to reach her final count. There are many more stories like these, tales of those who fell prey to the one who counts, and those who escaped by the slimmest of margins. And so it is that the people of the village live in perpetual fear, always listening for the telltale click of approaching death. Today, if you visit the village, you will find a community on edge, constantly vigilant against the whispers of the night. The elders advise staying well after sunset and never venturing outside in the dark, lest you encounter the one who counts. The younger ones, though, often mock these warnings, scoffing at the tales of a madman or a trickster spirit. They dance on the edge of danger, mocking the looming threat until it is too late. Should you ever find yourself in this village, remember, knock on any door after sunset, and the inhabitants will invite you in, for they know the peril of being alone in the dark. Stay up all night with them, share their meager meals, and listen to the tales that chill your bones. Do this, and you will survive the night. But should you choose to leave before dawn, you must leave behind more than just your footsteps. You must leave behind any thoughts of sleep. For if you close your eyes on the way out, the one who counts will follow, and then the counting will begin. And if you hear his toll, don't dare open your eyes, for when the counting ends, so does your life.